What's up, guys? If you're just tuning in because you're considering going no contact with your abusive psychopath or narcissist, or maybe you've already gone no contact, maybe you're going through the first week of not speaking with them, of completely cutting them off, of blocking them, ignoring their calls or ignoring their texts, you may want to pay attention because there's a lot of things that go through our heads as the victim of narcissistic abuse. There's a lot of things that go through our heads. There's a lot of things going on, lots of things going on also with the narcissists themselves, what they're doing during your first week of no contact. But we're going to focus on us first. We're going to focus on the survivors. We're going to focus on how to survive that first week of no contact and what exactly happens when you make that big decision, because it is a big decision. It takes a lot of courage to do something like that. I mean, you guys have been entangled. You have been trauma bonded to this person for such a long time that the idea of not speaking with them, even for a week, seems like too much. It feels like, oh no, we're never going to talk again? You mean like forever? Forever, never, never? Like that's it? Like cold turkey? And that's not something that's easy to process. Especially when it comes, sometimes it's not even at your command to employ. Sometimes the narcissist is the one that completely cuts you off, that discards you, that blocks you, ghosts you, and doesn't take your calls anymore. You're not going no contact. You're trying to figure out what the heck happened. You're trying to reach out so you can get some closure. You're trying to reach out so you can have a conversation about what the heck is going on. And you're just not going to get it. Radio silence. So a lot of times we're put in that situation by the abuser, by the toxic person. So what goes through our heads? What exactly happens when you're going through that no contact phase? And I call it a phase because, like, the goal is to make this your lifestyle, right? It needs to be your lifestyle, meaning the narcissist, the psychopath, the toxic person is no longer in your life. There's no communication with that person. It's like they dropped off the face of the planet. And that's something you need to adapt to forever and ever and ever. You need to be able to live your life with the understanding, with the knowing, with the acceptance, whether you like it or not, that you and this person no longer communicate. There's no more hope that maybe on a random Friday night, they'll show up or they'll call you. There's no hope that maybe in a few months, maybe in a couple of years even, as fate might align itself in your favor somehow, and you're going to run into them somewhere and you're going to rekindle things. No, that hope has to die. You have to let that go. Now, believe me, guys, it gets easier over time. Like many things in life get easier over time when they're for your good. Isn't it funny how most of the things that we do that are for our own good, be it eating healthy, fitness and exercise, getting good sleep, cutting toxic people out of your life, improving your time management. I'm running out of fingers on this hand. Some people have 6 fingers, but that's because of AI. Why is it that these things that are so good for us, so difficult at the beginning? And my theory is that if it was easy, then everybody would be doing it. And we'd be living in utopia around here. And it wouldn't have an impact. It wouldn't have much of a reward. You wouldn't feel the positive impact of taking care of yourself like that. It would just be like anything else. It wouldn't matter. So it has to be difficult. It has to be hard because you have to earn the good things in life. You have to earn them. You have to work for them. You have to really, really want them. You're going to have to prioritize for them. So how does this relate to going no contact? I mean, Kira, I don't like not speaking with the person that put me in this horrible place. I don't like not speaking with my abuser. I do not like not speaking to the person that cheated and betrayed me. I do not like to not speak with them. Doesn't make sense, does it? It's like we want to keep that person, that abusive person in our lives despite the horrors that they have done to us. And that's why it's so difficult. That's why when you decide to go no contact, especially that first week, I call that hell week. That first week. Let's break it down. I'm going to tell you how it was with me, because I feel that this is how it is for most people. Once you, and I mean actually block them, not just their phone number and then you leave the social medias there. No. I'm talking about when you block every number that they have, when you block them on all social media, whether it be TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, WhatsApp, whatever you guys have, they're blocked. As long as you know they have an account, they're blocked. But it doesn't end there. You got to go through your phone and you got to delete or archive somewhere all those pictures that you have on your phone so that you don't go doom scrolling down your photo gallery, looking at all those pictures and hyper analyzing the facial expressions in their eyes and comparing them to when you first met them and comparing them to right before the discard. All those things are just going to trigger more negative emotions. They're going to trigger your anxiety. You got to get rid of those pictures. I know for some, deleting them is not even an option. You're too sentimental. Maybe you need to keep some photos for evidence. I don't know. But you have to archive those and put them away on a hard drive and put that hard drive on a box. And you got to seal that box with Gorilla Tape. And you need to put that box inside another box and then put that away in the attic or in the basement somewhere inside another chest with a lock and key and just give that key to a neighbor who then is going to hide that key in their apartment somewhere, and then you'll never find it. So that's kind of like what you need to do. You know the pictures still exist, but you're not going to have easy access to them. You also have to get rid of all the emails so you don't accidentally read them. You have to get rid of all your text messages so that you don't accidentally or purposely read them when you're feeling lonely. You also have to block their email, if I didn't mention that already, because they will try to contact you via email when they realize that their phone and the social media is blocked. So make sure you got all those things covered. But what happens that first week? Well, the first few days, especially the first couple of days, like the first day, you're probably angry. If you've been able to tap into that anger that you need, because that anger wakes you up, that anger slaps you in the face and says, hey, I have had enough. This is unacceptable behavior. I am not putting up with this nonsense any longer. And you cut them off. And you make that drastic, bold move. You cut them off. At that moment, you feel empowered. At that moment, it's like all of those pieces of your soul that you had lost, it feels like you got them all back temporarily. They're still bound to the psychopath narcissist through an invisible umbilical cord. And somehow they manage to pull those pieces of your soul back to them even when they're not around. But at the beginning, it feels like you got them all back because you feel empowered. You know, you did the right thing. I know for those that are in my coaching program, we do these things together. Sometimes I sit there and I watch you block everything. We go down the phone. We do everything. Some survivors are crying. They can't do it. And then once they push that button, bah, it's like, wow, I did it. I can't believe I did it. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I did it. I did it. Yes, you did. Now, can you keep them blocked? Can you keep them blocked? Can you make it through the day without unblocking them? Because here's what's going to happen, guys. You're going to be wondering, uh-oh, What if they're trying to reach me? What if they're actually trying to call me because they realize that they made a mistake and they're calling to apologize? Maybe it was a misunderstanding. Maybe that wasn't someone that they were cheating on me with. Maybe I was seeing things, and who knows what your warped mind comes up with at the spot, and you start hyperventilating, you start to panic, and you're like, oh no, they may be trying to contact me. Oh no, Kita, I'm gonna unblock them just in case. I'm not gonna respond, but I just want to see what they have to say. Stop lying to yourselves, guys. Don't do it to yourselves. The minute you do that, you just broke no contact, and you're back at square one, or like I like to say, you're back at day zero. Okay, because you're not only are you starting over, but you're starting over a day behind. So you're still trying to play catch up. Now you got to build the strength and resilience to block them again, to get yourself to block them again. I have some people that have told me, oh, I'm going to block them on everything except this one thing. This one thing, we barely communicate by there, so I just want to see if they reach me through there, then that means they know that they're blocked everywhere and this is their last hope. And I just want to, I want to revel in that. I want to see that they went through every obstacle just to try and reach me, and then I'm going to stick it to them because I'm not going to respond. Again, don't do that, guys. That means you're still playing games with the monster that plays games for a living. Don't do it to yourself. Block. And mind you, I don't like having to block people. I'm not a fan of this world that we live in, where we have access to completely obliterate someone from our life as if they don't exist anymore by blocking. Just by blocking. Blocked. Now they can't contact you. See, I wasn't raised in that world. I wasn't raised in a world like that. We didn't need these precautions back in the day. Sure, from time to time, you would have an obnoxious person that was crank calling you all the time, and then you would alert the phone company to put a block on that number, because people didn't have access to millions of phone numbers now like a lot of scammers do. But that was a different time, wasn't it? That was a different time. Today, we have so many ways of being connected, and it feels like we're more disconnected than ever, doesn't it? Interesting how that works. So I don't like doing that. I feel that you don't want to talk to somebody, or you're busy or whatever. Just leave lines of communication open and whatever. Sometimes you don't respond, and sometimes you guys reconnect later, and it's cool. But blocking is so... It's such a punch in the mouth, isn't it? When you realize someone has blocked you, it's like, how dare you? Because you can't, when you're blocked, guys, you can't like give them a piece of your mind, because whatever you type, whatever you send out now goes into a black hole. So it's kind of like they do that to you. They do it covertly. Many people don't tell you that they're going to block you. They just block you. You realize later that it's like, oh, wait a second. My messages are like, there's only one check mark on this WhatsApp thing. Or you realize that it hasn't reached their phone, and then you click on their profile and you realize that now it says that they're following 0 people, they have 0 followers, they have 0 posts. And it's like, guys, on Instagram, that means you're blocked. It's not that they deleted everybody. It's that you're blocked, or the account has been restricted and now you don't see anything. It sucks. It hurts, doesn't it? And there's nothing you can do to tell them. You can't like go and post something yourself on Instagram so that they could see it and they could see that, oh, wow, they're not butthurt about this at all. No, because the minute you do that, if they were to see it, they'll know you're butthurt because you're posting that in the first place. But the truth is that they're not going to see it because they have you blocked, so that means they're not going to see it. When you block someone, you don't see their stuff either. That's hell week. You're going to go through the withdrawals. Okay? After the first day of empowerment, if you can make it through that first day, you're going to wake up. And if you have people validating you, you have people on your side, on your corner, on your team, they're going to make you feel good. They're going to be like, yeah, you should have done this a long time ago. This is what now we're talking about. You're going to see, you're going to start feeling better. And it's true. It's true. You will. But you got to go through that hell week. And sometimes that hell week turns into a month, hell month. Because let me tell you, after 2 or 3 days, that power that you felt you had starts to fade away. Because when you go through narcissistic abuse, the narcissist has a way of planting a virus in your brain where you're just bonded to them. You're just trauma bonded to them. You just can't live without them. You can't live without the narcissist in your life. You just can't. And when your brain catches up to your body and your nervous system, and I realize, hey, wait a second. Like, this is it? Because sometimes you do it out of anger and you're kind of like expecting that they're going to show up at your house. And it's like, yeah, you don't have to open the door, but sometimes, you live in a house, they're knocking on your front door. They're not there. Hopefully they're not there with an axe, right? If they come to your building, you can tell the security not to allow this person to come up, but sometimes they can get through anyway, and then you got to be ready. But I digress. The point is, if they actually take the time to come to your house, right? It's going to be harder. It's going to be harder to maintain that level of no contact. And maybe that's the time that you get your closure. That's not to say that anything that comes out of their mouth is going to be true. But you're going to have an opportunity to tell them, hey, I've got nothing else to say to you. You can get back in your car and go back to where you came from because we're through. Here's the rest of your stuff, or however you want to end it. I mean, I've made more videos about how to break up and how to get that final closure, right? I mean, you never get closure from the narcissist. You have to get closure for yourself. But the closure is just that's it. You draw a line in the sand and you're not going back to that. But, you expect that they're going to come back. You're somehow thinking, well, they're going to feel it. They're going to feel my absence. They're going to see that I'm not kissing their butt. They're going to see like, whoa, they blocked me. Ho, no, wait a second. Hold on. And they're going to come crawling back right away. I remember when that's what I thought was going to happen. And I walked out of that car and I was like, "Oh, you're still with that loser? The loser that you said that you were done with? That really? That? You're still with that? All right. This is what's going to happen now, and I'm storming out of here, and you know where I live?" So yeah, I thought they were going to like come right away and be like, "No, hold on a second." Disappeared for months. Went back to that same person, obviously. That's what they do. That's what they do because they're the scum of the earth, guys. They're the scum of the earth. If you take back someone like that, what does that say about you? What does that say about you? Imagine that. Imagine taking someone back that has been lying and cheating behind your back because you have no options. You're afraid of being alone. You're afraid of God's bigger plan for you. You're afraid of the unknown. So you go back to what's toxic and familiar. Nah. You got to stick with that no contact. You got to drive it home. You got to enforce it. And you got to remember that you can go right back to that trash and continue living in misery. You could do that if the narcissist lets you back. If the narcissist lets you back, they're not always going to entertain multiple supplies. Sometimes they don't want anything to do with you anymore, and they're happy with someone else, and they're happy smearing your name. They're happy watching you suffer. They're happy turning the new supply against you. They're happy turning your own family and friends against you, and they're never going to get back with you. I know there's a lot of information about the narcissist, how they always hoover, and they want you back, and they get bored with the new supply. They come back to the old supply, yada, yada, yada. Those are just buzzwords and clickbait. Yes, it happens, but it doesn't mean that it always happens. It doesn't mean that my Psychopath ex never came back. Ever. Ever, ever, never, never, ever, ever, never. And she knew there was no way back. but she didn't try. She didn't try. Why? Probably because she's a psychopath. A psychopath, they're wired a little different than the narcissist. They have the narcissistic traits, but they're psychopaths. And they can just cut you off and just be focused on their next kill, like a great white shark. And you're done, right? Boom, locked on target, coming after the next one. You mean nothing to them anymore. They realize you're not worth their efforts. You're not worth their time. And they're going to go after that other target. Remember, a shark, they go after like wounded fish. They go after the wounded, the sick, a fish that tails off, because a shark eats and it goes straight forward. Little effort. And it sees that weak one, boom, and it goes. But if it's gonna be a pain in the butt, they're not gonna. Usually they don't go after it, unless it's a great white. When those bad boys lock in, oh boy. But yeah, that might be the difference. Psychopath, a narcissist. We talk about all those things here. But sometimes you're not even dealing with a narcissist. You're just dealing with a toxic person. You're just dealing with a serial dater, right? You're dealing with just someone that just wants to have multiple partners. You're dealing with an avoidant, and when things get rough, they just distract themselves with something else, and they're not gonna deal with you. It's too much effort. They don't like confrontation. They'll new supply, like they say, new supply is always easier and sounds great. So why bother with you? So don't sit there thinking that the narcissist is going to come back just because you saw in a video that it's like, hey, the narcissist will hoover after 3 weeks. You gotta gauge your own situation. You gotta gauge your own situation, and you have to find your self-worth. I can help you rebuild your self-worth and your self-esteem if you're interested. Because the narcissist does a good job of depleting that, taking it from you, and dampening your light. But guys, believe me, that light is still in there. You just have to start unpacking all the things that the narcissist has thrown on you to blind you, to dim it, right? Because it's not fair. It's not fair that these people come into our lives and they wreck a good thing. That's what they do. They totally wreck it. And then they leave. And then it's over. And you're left like, but this doesn't make sense. I understand if you don't want to see me anymore, let's just have a conversation and but the way they do their exit, right? The way they just squander everything and self-sabotage it leaves you with more questions than answers. And a lot of people get obsessed trying to find the answers to those questions. And believe me, most of the time the answer to those questions is because you were dating somebody that was incapable of loving you. They were incapable of receiving the love that you gave them. And there's nothing that you can do that would have ever saved or prolonged that ultimate demise. So if you're serious about healing from narcissistic abuse, if you're serious about turning your life around and learning how to enjoy being alone during the healing process, learning how to follow your goals and your dreams, and recognize that you were put on this planet for a bigger purpose. Your purpose wasn't to chase the person that doesn't want you or the person that discarded you. Your purpose is bigger than that. I have a coaching program. You can get more information on the description below. I have a link in the description as well that you can click to get more information on that. I would love to hear your story and help you guys break free of this nightmare that seems like will never end. Believe me, it seems like it will never end, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And a lot of times it's your own light that's reflecting back on you. So if you want more information on that, be sure to check out the information below in the description. And if you'd like to learn more about the narcissist grooming phase, the idealization phase, the things that happen at the beginning when things are really, really good and promising, click right here so you can check out this video I made about grooming and the initial stages, the love bombing and things like that. And for more information on no contact, how to go and stay no contact with a narcissist, click here. Make sure you watch that before you go. All right, so take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one.